Hi, Blake.
Hi.
The mic was given to me. I just generally, I mean, the defense seems so extra important in this game with such a young offense. You know, what are they like now, their mentality, and how do you view that whole thing?
You know, I think we have the same mentality going into every game. You know, it's a nameless, faceless opponent, and you know, obviously, if we can allow the opponent to score less than our offense scores, we win the game. So that's our number one objective going into every single game, regardless of who we play and regardless of what our offense is. So, you know, I don't think our mentality will change at all week to week.
Blake, when you have a player like Shaq, who's obviously a very accomplished college player already, how do you challenge him to, you know, find even more and to raise the bar, raise the ceiling for him as he goes into his last year? What have you done to sort of get him try to keep progressing upward?
I think the two things that I've really challenged Shaq with, you know, is one, bringing his teammates along with him. Obviously, he knows the scheme very well from an individual standpoint and really from both inside linebacker standpoints. So I've challenged him to you know, really just bring people along with him, challenge them to meet his expectation level. And then the second part of it is to really learn the entire concepts of certain defenses, not just his job or not just the will linebacker's job. And I think he's done a really good job answering the bell with both of those things.
With word getting out that a couple DBs are in the portal, how do you feel about the depth back there between your corners and safeties and everything going into this opening week?
You know, I think it's next man up mentality, and I think our guys that have been called upon to answer the bell have done that. I think when you look across the board, there's going to be some young guys that we were counting on. When you talk about Corey Couch, I think he's come in every single day and proved his worth to play well within our scheme. Keontre Smith is another young guy, and hopefully, you know, with Bubba Bolden as well. He's really, really smart. He's done a great job answering the call, so I feel good about where we're at from a depth standpoint, defensive back.
Sticking with the secondary, Al Blades and DJ Ivey still an oar on the depth chart. What's going to go into that competition this final week for that starting spot opposite of Benny when it's just two corners on the field?
We grade practice every single day. I think both guys can see reps throughout the game. I feel comfortable with both of those guys playing out there at corner. But, you know, competition has made them both better. Competition amongst each other has made them up their game, and really, really proud of the way those two have competed, so they will see playing time.
Hey Blake, they scored a lot of points at the end of last year in their last couple games. What did you see when you watched film? What allowed them to take their offense to the next level? And what do you foresee as a carryover on Saturday night?
I think the biggest thing is when you look at the quarterback, he seems more and more comfortable as the year went on. I think those backs, they've got really, really good running backs that are strong and didn't lose any strength throughout the season. It's almost like they got stronger as the season went on. So I think those two things stood out, and then, you know, just the receiving core in general. You could just see when you watch, you know, game in, game out of last season, every single person on that offense seemed to get more and more comfortable understanding what was being asked of them. So I think that'll be, you know, the return of a lot of their skilled guys. So we'll have our hands full.
And Andy just said a little while ago that we practiced enough. We just want to play this thing. But how much in these last couple of practices are you guys going to decide on some positional things? Is there still some work to be done here in these final days?
From our positions, yeah, I think at corner, I think, like I said, there's still competition there. You know, and probably a defensive line. I think regardless of who goes out there first, they're all going to play, and that's something that we've preached. You know, guys that have earned it through spring and through fall camp, regardless of who goes out there first and is the starter, don't let that affect your performance when you do get a chance to play.
With Dan Mullen, the play caller that he is there any like heightened level of you know, defensive game planning that has to go into this game, just being ready for whatever he might throw at you?
You know, just having experience going against him a couple times, and then obviously with Coach Diaz going against him a couple times, I'm sure he'll have a few wrinkles that he hasn't shown us before. So yeah, we got to be aware for everything, got to be alert for everything. I think he does a very good job calling plays. I think he does a very good job keeping it balanced. You know, when you look at their run pass over his history, he's done a really nice job with doing that. But yeah, we always have to be alert for a new wrinkle that maybe he hasn't shown us. I'm sure he has something in his back pocket.
But to kind of follow up on a lot of the questions about who's starting at this or that, is your philosophy kind of, I mean, I guess I'm asking you how valuable you think that title is, just because you could change personnel 2 snaps into the game and, or start a nickel or start, you know, whatever. Do you tell kids that it's not really about that first 11 for that first snap?
Absolutely. Especially in today's, you know, in modern football, the goal is to have 22. And I think you have to, you know, you have to continue to preach that to your kids because they're human beings. You know, they're hearing from external avenues as far as why aren't you starting, you know, maybe from the people that they love the most. So, you know, I think it's something that we pride ourselves on, finding 22, but it's something that we got to continue to preach to our kids and have them understand that regardless if you go out there first, you might go out there second and end up with more plays than the starter. So that can't change your mentality as you prepare for any opponent.
It's along the same lines as finishing a game. If you're out there in money time, if you're out there with the game on the line in the fourth quarter, is that, in your eyes, maybe even more critical than who that
Absolutely,
was?
absolutely. You know, that's money time. That's crunch time. So you're gonna have your best players on the field there at the end of the game.
Hey Blake, some of the newcomers that aren't freshmen, like some of the transfers, maybe Chigozie, Bubba, who's the other one?
Trayvon.
And Trayvon, yeah. They've obviously, I guess they've been doing very well. You know, how have they been doing, each of them, and how much tougher is it when you're coming from maybe a different culture or you haven't played for a while, coming to a new team? What's that like?
You know, I think all 3 of them have done a great job just rolling up their sleeves and coming to work every day with a blue-collar mentality. You know, for whatever it's worth, all 3 of those guys have not said much, you know what I mean, from a vocal standpoint. They just want to work and get better every single day, and all 3 of those guys are going to add huge value to our defense.
Can you say something a little bit about Trayvon to begin with?
I think Trayvon is going to get better and better as the season goes on. He's still working himself into playing shape, but really the last week, maybe week and a half, you have seen what we had seen on tape at Virginia Tech. So I've been really impressed with what he's done the last week and a half. And like I said, he's learning a new defense. He wasn't able to be with us over the summer, training so much. So he's going to continue to get better and better.
Can you do the same thing for Chigozie and then Bubba?
Chigozie is quick twitch, very strong inside. He's hard to move. Bright kid. Has picked up on the defense extremely well. And Bubba's the same thing. Bubba's picked up on the defense. You know, he obviously has come later than the other 2, so has had less work at it. But very smooth athlete, phenomenal ball skills, willing tackler, great length. He's got a great future ahead of him here at Lang.
Thank you.
Manny has spoken about how special the skill position players are for Florida. What do you see in that group that makes it a challenge?
I think they all have a unique skill set. When you talk about number 12, he can really run. He can blow the top off the coverage. I think Florida does a great job moving, you know, all their receivers around. When you talk about number 1, he's an elite ball carrier. He's one of the best in the country once he has the ball under his hands or under his arms, and they do a great job putting him in running back slot outside, so we have to be aware of where he's at all times. Number 10 is more of their solid guy that can really, he makes all the tough catches, phenomenal hands, maybe the best hands that I've seen on tape in a long time out of number 10. So I think all of those guys had a different skill set. They're a well-rounded receiving unit. And then, like I said, the running backs are sturdy. They're big, strong dudes, man. We've got to do a great job of striking low and tackling.
Anything else for Coach Baker? Okay.